Most of us who are paying attention know that the Democrats cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016. This is not an issue of whether or not you like him, but we all get it. There was a lot of things happening behind the scenes to give Hillary Clinton control. They were feeding her questions in advance. They wanted her to win. And Bernie eventually bent the knee and endorsed her. That was a major mistake. It backfired. But we'll get to all that. Because now, the big story is the DNC is once again cheating. And I've talked about them cheating all the time. But now the cheating is so blatant and overt. I was actually shocked that they had the gall to do this. Two big stories coming out showing the Democratic National Committee is overtly cheating. First, a story from Politico. DNC members discuss rules change to stop Sanders at the convention. The talks reveal rising anxiety over the Vermont senator's momentum on the eve of voting. Now, you may say, Tim, whether or not they change the rules to a private organization, they can do what they want, and they haven't actually done anything yet. Fine, I'll stop you there. Because now we see this story. Democratic Party set to include Michael Bloomberg in debates with change to qualifying requirements. Bravo, DNC. You know what, man? I was thinking about how blatantly and overt this cheating is right now. And I was thinking about the impeachment of Donald Trump. And I thought to myself, if they're willing to cheat and they're so desperate, they will cheat to such an extreme degree. Why wouldn't they cheat in other ways? Say, smearing Donald Trump with a faux impeachment and scandal after scandal? I believe when you look at on the surface, it looks like Democrats could be incompetent. I think no. I think everything the establishment Democrats have been doing has been cheating the whole time. You think about Ukraine-gate, the whistleblower, all of these stories, and it just sounds like desperate attempts to win power. And that's creepy. You look at what Democrats did with witnesses for Republicans. They denied the Republican witnesses in the House. Then when the Democrats in the Senate, who don't have power, demanded witnesses, they cried foul and accused the GOP of subverting democracy, other nonsense. They're cheating. They're not being held to the same standards that they claim the Republicans should be held to. They deny witnesses, but then cry foul when Republicans do the same. Yeah, that's called, a tit for tat, right? The Democrats don't care about what's fair or the principle. And I mean the real establishment Democrat types. Now, I'm going to throw shade right at Bernie Sanders for not standing up for himself because he's been getting torn to shreds. A new story's coming out. Hillary Clinton smearing the guy again. Rashida Tlaib apparently booed Hillary and now she's apologizing. I'm sorry, man. If you're not strong enough to stand up for yourself, why would you expect me to stand by you? I am really close to saying, you know what? I'm done with all of them forever. Now, admittedly, look, the people I like are Tulsi, Andrew Yang for the most part. And they were the ones cheated. Think about this. The Democratic Party is going to change the rules for a white male billionaire, but they wouldn't for the Asian, for the woman of color, or for Cory Booker, a person of color. We see how the game is played. They act like they're woke and they care, but they don't. They're cheating. But let me stop ranting. And let's get to the first story about how they're going to be sidelining Bernie Sanders. And let me stress for the umpteenth time, Bernie Sanders deserves this. He couldn't stand up for himself to save his own campaign or career in 2016, nor today, so he doesn't deserve my support. Why am I going to stand behind someone who can't stand up themselves? I'm sorry. I'll have to choose someone else like Tulsi or Yang. But before we get started, make sure you head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There are several ways you can give, but the best thing you can do, share this video. I'd hope that we can break some echo chambers by exposing more people to these ideas. Maybe they don't want to hear them. But the other big issue that I often talk about is I can really see it in the YouTube algorithm that they're stopping my channel from being recommended to anybody. Now, you know what? There's no obligation for YouTube to promote me. Fine, I accept that. They're a private business, right? But if you share my video, that is 10 times or more, much more powerful than YouTube's recommendation ever could be. Word of mouth is the most powerful way to help my channel grow, so I appreciate it if you would share the video. But let's read the first story. And let me just make one more point. I can absolutely criticize the weakness of Sanders while recognizing they are cheating him. Now, if people like Bernie and think he should be the nominee, then the Democrats should accept that, and Bernie should be the nominee. I'm not going to vote for him. But if people want to, you don't have to agree with me. I can certainly see the Democrats are cheaters trying to keep out Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, and others, Cory Booker, to prop up a billionaire of all people. And here's the kicker. Bloomberg a few months ago gave several $100,000 to the DNC. Oh, lo and behold, the game is rigged. You see, Donald Trump wasn't supposed to win. Donald Trump wasn't supposed to be the nominee for the Republicans, but the Republicans didn't cheat. The Republicans conceded when Trump took the nomination, and they've unified behind him for better or worse. Not the Democrats. They are clinging to power in desperation like Bilbo Baggins trying to snatch that ring back from Frodo. Let's read the story. Politico reports, a small group of Democratic National Committee members has privately begun gauging support for a plan to potentially weaken Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign and head off a brokered convention. In conversations on the sidelines of a DNC executive committee meeting and in telephone calls and texts in recent days, about a half dozen members have discussed the possibility of a policy reversal to ensure that so-called superdelegates can vote on the first ballot at the party's national convention. Such a move would increase the influence of DNC members, members of Congress, and other top party officials who now must wait until the second ballot to have their say if the convention is contested. Quote, I do believe we should reopen the rules. I hear it from others as well, one DNC member said in a text message last week to William Owen, a DNC member from Tennessee who does not support reopening the rules. Owen, who declined to identify the member, said the member added in a text that it would be hard though. We could force a meeting or on the floor. Sounds like this person is the one who leaked this information. Even proponents of the change acknowledge it is all but certain not to gain enough support to move past these initial conversations. But the talks reveal the extent of angst that many establishment Democrats are feeling on the eve of the Iowa caucuses. Sanders is surging, and Joe Biden has maintained his lead nationally. Well, not for long. Bernie is taking over. But at least three other candidates are widely seen as viable. The cluster raises the specter of a convention requiring a second ballot. If Sanders wins the Iowa caucuses on Monday and continues to gain momentum, it is possible he could arrive at the convention with the most delegates, but without enough to win the nomination on the first ballot. It is also possible that he and Elizabeth Warren, a fellow progressive, could arrive at a convention in second and third place, but with more delegates combined than the frontrunner. If on the second ballot, superdelegates were to throw their support to someone else, tipping the scales, many moderate Democrats fear the upheaval that would cause could weaken the eventual nominee. Conversations about a potential rules change picked up as Sanders ascended in the primary, but they have not gained traction to this point with the DNC. So it's fair to say that won't go anywhere. But I also think it's extremely important to point out they're still trying to cling on to that ring of power. They won't give it up. So they will cheat if they have to. They will change the rules so Bernie can't win. Bernie is not my candidate. He was to a certain degree in 2016. I lost a lot of faith with him based on a lot of pandering he's done, and the things he said since then is flip-flopping. That's fine. If you still like Bernie, more power to you. I'm not saying don't vote for him. I am saying, however, you expect me to participate in your primary and your voting process that's rigged the entire time? Not gonna happen. And you know what's funny? I'm one of these people desperately trying to not vote Trump. I'm ambivalent for the most part on Trump. I don't think he's the end of the world. I think he's got bad character, as I often say. The economy is doing great. I can recognize that, but I'm looking for something else. I think a Yang-Trump debate would greatly benefit this country because they both talk about similar issues affecting the working class and America. The DNC cheats. They kept Yang out of a debate. Oh, but they'll change the rules for Bloomberg. So this is where I get really angry. They cheat and smear Tulsi. They cheat and smear Yang. The establishment media cheats and smears both of them. And you want my support? You come to me. You look me in the eyes and say, vote blue no matter who. Nice try. You'd prop up the billionaire who gave you a kickback several months ago, and I see the slime emerging from your eyes. Not gonna happen. Democratic Party set to include Michael Bloomberg in debates with change to qualifying requirements. But when Andrew Yang asked not for a change of the rules, but for more polling, they said no. When Tulsi said, lower the requirements, let more people on the stage, they said no. When Cory Booker complained about a lack of diversity, they said no. But lo and behold, the billionaire steps up, dumps a couple $100,000 in their pockets, and they say, you know what? Maybe this does make sense. We see how the game is played. It's a two-tiered system, the haves and the have-nots. Now, Bernie is surging and may very well win. And I'll tell you this, as much as they're cheating with Bloomberg, I am excited to say in all likelihood it will backfire. in their faces. And I look forward to making a video titled Democrats Cheating Backfires in Their Face. Because Michael Bloomberg is a more moderate mainstream candidate. You know what that means? When it comes to the primary, he's going to take votes away from Joe Biden. And Bernie Sanders is taking the lead. So you know what? You deserve Bernie. He's not my candidate, but I certainly think he deserves to win because they've cheated every step of the way. Now, in my personal opinion, a 78-year-old socialist who had a heart attack can't win the presidency. I'm not trying to be mean. That's just reality. But it doesn't mean he shouldn't be the nominee if that's what the people have chosen. So you can cheat all day and night, and you get what you deserve. Everything the establishment Democrats have done so far has just backfired in their faces horribly. Impeachment has empowered Trump. And the more Hillary tries to smear Bernie and Tulsi, the more powerful they become. You are losing. You should have done what the Republican Party did and accept the change. Trump won the nomination and they said, fine. And people changed their tune to recognize what the American people really wanted. Democratic Party won't do it. But they'll get their comeuppance soon because this will backfire. Let's read the story from Market Watch. They say the Democratic Party's governing body said Friday that its presidential contenders won't have to attract a set number of donors in order to qualify for the February 19th debate in Nevada, in a move that helps billionaire Michael Bloomberg, who is self-funding his campaign. Quote, to qualify for the Nevada debate stage, candidates may qualify either by 1, meeting a delegate threshold, or 2, meeting a polling threshold, the DNC said in a statement. For previous primary debates, White House hopefuls had to get both a particular number of donors and reach a set level of support in national or early state polls. Those requirements have kept Bloomberg, the former mayor of NYC, from taking part in debates, since he is self-funding his presidential campaign and not accepting donations. Under the new requirement, politicians can qualify by getting 1 pledged delegate from the upcoming voting in the Iowa caucuses or the New Hampshire primary, or they can make the grade by scoring 10% support in 4 polls, either national or single state, or 12% in 2 single state polls. Bloomberg has scored 10% in 2 national polls conducted in January, as well as gotten 11 and 12 in 2 other national surveys this month, according to the Real Clear Politics tracker. Quote, we are thrilled that voters could soon have the chance to see Mike Bloomberg on the debate stage, hear his vision for the country, and see why he is the strongest candidate to defeat Donald Trump and bring our country together, said Bloomberg's campaign manager, Kevin Sheekey, in a statement. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders supporter and political commentator Nomiki Konst suggested in a tweet Friday that people should voice outrage at DNC chairman Tom Perez over the debate rules change. The other billionaire Democratic presidential contender, Tom Steyer, said in a statement that changing the rules now to accommodate Mike Bloomberg and not changing them in the past to ensure a more diverse debate stage is just plain wrong. And I agree with Steyer. I don't agree with how Steyer and Bloomberg have dumped tons of money to enter the race in the first place. To a certain degree, I can respect that they've earned that position within reason. They built companies, they made money, and they can wield that as they see fit. I do personally find it distasteful, and I would never vote for someone like Bloomberg or Steyer for that reason. But I respect the ability they have. Personally, I'd prefer it if Bloomberg couldn't dump $200 million into his campaign and then just flood the airways with nonsense. I've also jokingly pointed out he's not given any of that money to digital, which means I don't get any. I'm kidding, by the way. I would not appreciate Bloomberg funding any of my programming, but it's YouTube automated, so it is what it is. I'm actually kidding, by the way. No, I should say I'm a bit more agnostic on this. Look, I get it. Bloomberg has the ability, so I'm not going to vote for him, and I'm going to tell you that's exactly why. So maybe you saw one of his ads play in front of one of my videos or something like that, but at least you got to hear me say, I am not going to support someone who does this. Now, Donald Trump didn't spend nearly as much money as most of the other candidates, and he earned a lot of his press. I'm still critical of Donald Trump, but this is a whole other level. Trump took a loan out to fund his campaign, as far as I understand. This is them using their personal cash and flooding the airwaves just to win. And then here's the big kicker. Check this out. Daily Caller says DNC rule change will make it easier for 7-figure DNC donor Bloomberg to qualify. Here's the big kicker. The DNC's filings show that Bloomberg contributed more than $1.1 million late in 2019 to the party and a joint fundraising committee the DNC operates to the party and a fundraising committee. The records show that Bloomberg made 3 donations of $106,500 to the DNC itself, and another $800,000 to the Democratic Grassroots Victory Fund, a joint fundraising committee for the DNC and state Democratic parties. And there it is. Quid pro quo. Let's see the outrage from the establishment resistance types. Yeah, they're not going to say it. I'll also point out I'm really frustrated by people like David Pakman call them the centrist Democrats. No, stop. They've stolen our good name. They're the establishment elitists. Us here in the populist area range from left to right. You've got Trump's right-wing populists, Bernie's left-wing populists, and the very few politically homeless populist types, but we're all rather anti-elitist and authoritarian. These people like Bloomberg, they're authoritarians. Bloomberg straight up said, there's a viral clip where he's like, we should tax the poor, otherwise they'll buy things that are bad for them. What? No. Bloomberg tried taxing, I think it was Bloomberg, tried taxing soda because he thought Americans are getting fat. Dude, you can't tell people they're not allowed to eat things or drink things or place a punitive tax on that product to change their behavior. That's creepy authoritarianism. Please call them what they are. Now, I have ragged on the DNC establishment. I have, heavily. And I think it's fair, 100%. I know I've said it, but I'm saying it again. Bernie Sanders is being cheated and deserves that seat. But you know what? To a certain degree, I will say Sanders is deserving all of the flack and the cheating he's getting because he won't stand up for himself. And he's had every opportunity. Okay, Tulsi doesn't deserve it. You know why? Tulsi has stood on principle. She stepped down from the DNC because to endorse Bernie Sanders. And they hate her for it. And they tried to destroy her for it. Now she's suing Hillary Clinton, who apparently refuses to be served, I'm hearing. Look at this. Another story from the New York Times just the other day. Hillary Clinton slams Bernie Sanders for not working to unite Democrats in 2016. There is no winning. They will not concede. They will not give you ground. Stop playing their game. But Bernie won't do it. He apologized. Joe Biden isn't corrupt. I'm so sorry. Okay. In a podcast interview on Friday, Mrs. Clinton also described the caucuses in Iowa, where Mr. Sanders leads in some polls, as undemocratic. They're cheating. They cheated, and they will cheat again. And Bernie can't save his own skin. In 2016, Bernie Sanders, hard fight for Hillary Clinton. How'd that pay off, Bernie? Did it earn you the respect from the establishment you were so desperately trying to receive? No, they're still coming after you. Trump learned that lesson. Trump knew. Well, Trump's also pretty arrogant and thinks he knows better. So he just rejected everybody and yells. He takes that microphone. He seizes it. And that's why he won. Bernie doesn't have the strength. So you look at Bernie, and he's a mirror image to Trump in a lot of ways. Now, they have similarities. But what do you think it's going to look like when Bernie's debating Trump? Now, that's why the Democratic establishment is cheating so hard. Well, too bad. The people deserve to hear a debate between Bernie and Trump if that's what the voters, really want. I have no faith in this system. Now I'll tell you what really makes me angry. Rashida Tlaib basically apologized because in an event they said, don't boo Hillary Clinton. And Rashida Tlaib said, no, I will. And I was like, for once, Rashida Tlaib and I stand in complete agreement. Absolutely boo Hillary Clinton, an authoritarian warmonger who cheats the DNC and steals the democratic process. There is no democratic election in this country if the DNC keeps cheating over and over and over again. So why should I have faith in that system? And why shouldn't I boo Hillary Clinton or any one of these crony establishment Democrats? Even though I know I'm not a fan of Bernie. I mean, look, I got to be honest. I don't even know if I want to vote for Yang in the primary anymore. Maybe I should, but the whole system is so corrupt. I don't know if it deserves my vote of confidence. I've always felt that the best thing you can do is not vote because it sends a message of no confidence. I feel like if I participate in their system, I'm acknowledging there's a chance that it might work. I don't believe it will. They've cheated Yang already. They're going to cheat him again. Why should I bother participating in their broken system where I know they're cheating? Think about it this way. Let's say you're sitting at a table with some friends. You're playing Monopoly, and you catch your friend repeatedly stealing money from the bank. Are you going to keep playing? You're going to be like, I know I'm not going to win. I'm watching them cheat. They won't stop. So what's the point? I'm going to walk away and go do my own thing. It doesn't mean I'll vote for any of the Republicans. It just means they don't deserve that number on their Democratic voter roll because they're cheaters. And I think at this point, enough is enough. Rashida Tlaib, you should not have said this. I respect you for booing Hillary Clinton. I do. I don't respect you for dancing around impeachment, fine. But calling out Trump all day and night, I got no problem with. You want to call him all the names in the book? Hey, it's America. It's free speech. Fine. I'll disagree. I don't think he's that bad. I think Hillary Clinton's way worse. So I'm like, hey, if you boo, express yourself. Don't apologize. And she did. Sort of. She said, in this instance, I allowed my disappointment with Secretary Clinton's latest comments about Sanders and his supporters to get the best of me. You all, my sisters in service on stage, and our movement deserve better. Yeah, better than Clinton. They deserve someone like you actually booing Clinton. Get these crony types out. I'll tell you this. I can disagree with so much that Rashida and Omar the squad stand for, but as long as they're playing by the rules and honestly representing what they believe, I'm cool with it. We'll argue, we'll debate. I think AOC is more obsessed with celebrity, fine, and I think they have some bad ideas, and I question some of their moral character. Yes, I do. But look at the establishment. Look at what the Democrat, like the establishment DNC types are doing. They don't even care about the process. They don't even care to try and convince you. Listen, if Bernie comes out and whispers sweet nothings into your ears, at least he's giving you the benefit of lying to your face. Okay, I think that's a little harsh, but the wealth tax makes no sense. I'm sorry. If Bernie really believes what he's saying, I can respect that. Then I just think he's wrong. And that's fine. That's what we do in this country. We debate, and sometimes people who are wrong win. But we actually have the discussion. What the establishment DNC does is they hide behind the scenes and subvert the entire process so you never mattered in the first place. You know what, man? I'll tell you this. CNN's tubing on how history will remember impeachment. Trump won. For all of their stupid games, they have lost every step of the way. So I look forward to Democrat cheating backfires. I am going to make a thumbnail for that video and I'm going to mount it on my wall, just waiting for the day I get to make the video where it says the Democrats cheated and it backfired. I'm just waiting for it. Because here's what's going to happen. Like I mentioned, Bloomberg will split the moderate votes, giving Bernie the win. Congratulations. That's what you have to look forward to. And while all that is going on, the RNC closes out best ever non-presidential year with record numbers for December. Well, you know what? I think the Republicans are ineffective and weak. Well, I am sick and tired of hearing of these scandals. I am sick and tired of Russiagate, Ukrainegate, whatever nonsense, impeachment or otherwise. You see how they treat their own party, right? You see how Hillary Clinton treats her own party, right? Where are the Republicans to stop the insanity when it targets them? They don't do it. They should have called witnesses. You know why? Because they should have called Hunter Biden. And so be it. Bring them out. If Trump did wrong, so be it. But if you don't think Trump did, then I'd look forward to hearing from the people who can explain what Hunter Biden was doing. Or how about Voldemort, as I call him, the man I'm not allowed to name, the whistleblower, and Adam Schiff's staff? They could have. They didn't want to. So now they've given in to Schumer's demand, and come Wednesday, they'll have the final vote, probably acquitting Trump. So I'll tell you this. The Republicans deserve their record numbers. They deserve to win on impeachment, and they deserve to win on Russiagate, but barely. It's about time they stood up, because I don't care. It's not about policy. It's about your willingness to call out the cheaters who are subverting our system. At the same time, they claim it's Trump who's doing that. I don't care if Trump is or isn't. I can see you doing it. So how about all the Bernie supporters get behind Republicans launching an investigation of the establishment Democrats who are locking out your candidate? If the progressive left could just get over the orange man bad Trump derangement syndrome, they might actually get to see an investigation of the cronies who are stopping Sanders. I wish that would happen. I don't think it will. So I'll leave it there. You get the point. The next segment is coming up at youtube.com/TimCastNews starting at 6 p.m. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.